Hey, Jose, before we begin this episode, there's something I have to tell you.
Is it that you love me? Please,
No.
please be that.
Yes. Yes, I do, but I'm a cop.
Oh my God. Not again.
Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the People's Review Podcast. I'm Dylan,
And I'm Jose.
and this week we watched The Fast and the Furious.
They went
Ooh.
so fast.
From 2001. And man, is this an early 2000s movie.
Yeah, definitely an early 2000s movie. 2 months, I believe, after Joe Dirt came out.
Oh, really? So this is, yeah, we're really dissecting an era of film here. This movie stars Vin Diesel, who also was in The Pacifier, another great early 2000s film, and Guardians of the Galaxy. He's Groot.
I am Groot.
And you remember that movie Triple X? I forgot about it until I was looking up about Vin Diesel.
How do you forget about a great movie like Triple X? It has literally everything you want in a movie. 3 X's.
Three. And also the late Paul Walker. Michelle Rodriguez, who starred in Avatar, apparently. Avatar is one of those movies I've not thought about in forever either.
Can I be honest, Dylan? I've never
Yes,
seen
Jose.
Avatar.
I've seen part of Avatar. I didn't see it when it came out in like the IMAX. No, I felt like I should have because that was like a big moment. It was like the highest grossing movie of all time. And I think the IMAX and the second wave of 3D really kind of helped to the hype. I'm interested to see how that movie holds up today.
Yes, and I'm definitely interested to see how it feels because I've never seen it, and everyone's always been like, "Dude, like this is the best movie I've ever seen," and I'm like an intellectual.
I don't know if the Avatar is a very intellectual film. It's basically Pocahontas, but blue people.
Pocahontas
You
is
know,
a
there
tough
was a-
movie.
I think there was a website like back like 10 years ago. That was a coping website for people who couldn't take the fact that the world of Avatar was not real.
Is it the same like community with Lost not being real?
Probably. People just want to be in like post-apocalyptic world. Or actually, no, Avatar's not post-apocalyptic, but neither is Fast and Furious.
No, they're not.
Segueing back. Oh, also, I'm not sure if you saw this on the Michelle Rodriguez film and voiceography, but she also voiced the Marine in Halo 2.
No way. She
Yeah,
was in
dude,
Halo
it was
2?
on Wikipedia.
We literally just played that game.
We did play that game. I did not recognize Michelle Rodriguez, but
I mean, she does have a very generic voice, so I guess it wouldn't stand out a lot.
she's got some real good lines in this movie, which we'll get to. But what else? Chad Lindbergh, who was in October Sky, another good film, and of course the best actor in this entire film, Ja Rule, famous for not going to jail for Fyre Festival.
Oh man, Ja Rule. This is definitely the era where a lot of rappers were starting to become actors. So I think about this time, 8 Mile also came out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 8 Mile. 8 Mile is good. I think I remember liking 8 Mile.
8 Mile is definitely good in terms of like some of the movies other rappers were a part of.
Yeah, and I think it's Eminem's really only movie he ever starred in, which is basically a biopic of his life in a lot of ways because he grew up in 8 Mile and Detroit and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
Ja Rule did not rise to the level of Eminem in 8 Mile. He has like 2 lines, and I didn't know it was Ja Rule until I looked it up at the end. So
You didn't know it was Ja Rule? Come on, that's such an iconic line. His first line, "Menage a trois," and his other line, "Monica." Come on.
Monica! Yeah, he grabs a tit and then loses a race. Good old Ja Rule.
At least he got one thing out of it, you know?
Ja Rule didn't even get paid for the shoot. He just saw that he was going to grab a tit in the script and was like, sign me up.
One tit? Don't need a check. I'm good.
Yes. He was probably talking to Rob Cohen, the director, who also directed Triple X, also starring Vin Diesel. So a little bit of connection there. Story credit by Gary Scott Thompson. He also has story credits for Too Fast, Too Furious. So he's the only one of these writers that has a connection to any other Fast film.
Well, after
and the director also did not direct any other Fast films. So.
Well, after that, Vin Diesel was pretty much like, I got this, okay, bud? I'm going to take this to a stratosphere you don't even heard of. Have you seen Banks?
Have you seen Chronicles of Riddick?
Oh, man. Pitch Black?
What's another Vin Diesel movie?
Fast and the Furious 9?
Fast and Furious 9 with Jacina.
Yep, his brother Jacina.
Oh, and also, writing credits go to David Ayer, who may be most notorious for writing that Suicide Squad movie, which I detest. So
Oh, that trash?
that absolute garbage. Oh god, the DC Cinematic Universe. The Fast Furious is definitely better than the DC Cinematic Universe, for sure.
Oh, very true. I don't know. I think the Snyder Cut, for whoever hasn't seen it, the Snyder Cut is very much a huge leg up over the Justice League movie, which was a catastrophic disappointment. What would you say, Dylan?
I like half watch the Justice League, and I just remember that like they're about to like save the Cube or something, or stop the Cube, and then Superman's like, "Oh, there's a Russian family over there. I gotta save them." And it's like, "Oh, you're gonna let everyone die to save this Russian family?" I don't know.
I mean, you have to save the Russian family to appease the Russian viewers, right? Otherwise,
this is my Russian family. I got a race to save the family.
I'm surprised Superman doesn't make a cameo appearance in one of the Fast and the Furious movies later on. I mean, the worlds might as well just start colliding now, since they're like going into outer space and everything.
Yeah, I saw that. Like the trailer was he bungee, like the Fast 9 trailer. There's like a bungee cord attached to a helicopter, and they race off the cliff. There's some weird shit happening.
Yeah, and then they jump into like, I believe they get into like some sort of they're on a ship, and then it takes a car out to space, like basically like the Tesla thing.
Yeah. So it's an indication of this movie is way more grounded than that, and I guess it's going to be exciting to see how it ramps up. To be honest, the only things of Fast and Furious I've seen are the terrible video games. The most recent one that came out like a year ago ends with Vin Diesel jumping on a rocket, like a rocket that's taking off to try to stop it. And then before it blows up, he jumps off the rocket onto the hood of a car, and then the rocket blows up.
Did this game have a video game release when it came out?
The original
that was a
Fast?
popular thing. Yeah, did this have a video game when it came out? Because usually they did.
I don't know. It would make sense, right? Because this is also the the era in which Gran Turismo is coming out and things like that, which I think makes an appearance in this movie.
It makes an appearance in this movie twice, actually.
There are multiple people playing Gran Turismo in this movie. The guy who's playing it in his car before one of the street races, like he has a TV and PlayStation in his car, which is pretty dope setup for 2001.
I mean, yeah, if I was old enough in 2001 to drive a car, I would definitely have a PlayStation and a TV in there to play Gran Turismo after driving my car.
I remember seeing a Pimp My Ride episode where they put video game screens and consoles in the back of a guy's car, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the entire world.
I also recall that episode and remember them doing exactly that. I think it might have been an Xbox, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, because it was the green lights, and
yeah,
Xbox is really extreme.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal episode where Exhibit gives out free video games in a car, you know.
Has Exhibit been in a Fast movie?
No, but he's been in a movie with The Rock, Gridiron Gang.
Oh, okay. And The Rock appears in a Fast movie eventually?
Yes, Fast 5.
Fast 5. There's too many Fast movies. I'm just going to call it right now.
Oh, there's definitely way more than there should be, for sure.
Though I will say, just general impressions, this movie is not bad. A lot of positives about it, though. I think it's a movie for people with 5-second attention spans, especially at the beginning. There's like a thing happening every 5 seconds. There's just cuts, and this happens, and here's this character, and this guy got punched, and here's this character, and this guy's going to an auto shop, and he needs the NOS, and then there's a race, and then there's this, and then there's a sister, and then there's this, and this, and this. I didn't even know that Vin Diesel was Toretto until like 2/3 of the way through the movie. I just didn't make that connection because everything was happening too fast for me.
Yeah, they definitely didn't explain a lot in the beginning. That of course, the first thing we see is a cargo full of TVs and VCRs. Oh man, and those were like the smallest TVs in the world. But back then, those were like the largest TVs. To me personally, I owned some of those TVs, and when I was a kid, that was like the best you could have.
Are you talking about those like projection screen TVs?
No,
like huge TV.
No, I'm just talking about the basic little TVs. You know, the 17-inch, 21-inch. I mean, to me back then that was huge.
Big old box TV.
Correct.
Yeah, we had that, and then we had even like we tried to use a projection screen TV. I don't even really know how that worked. I just know the image looked really bad because the room we were in was too small for the TV. And the TV was like as tall as I was as a child. It was wild.
My sister had a TV like that. That thing was huge. And then you could actually have like the main screen play a movie, and then on the side you have like a smaller screen, and you could play like PlayStation if you wanted.
Man, there's going to be people listening to this that have no idea about any of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you were born, I want to say...
If you're born in the year 2000, you can legally drink this year?
No, they would be too young. I would say if they were born like in 93, 94, they would probably remember what we're talking about. But other than that, I mean, I think those TVs became obsolete. There you go. But those TVs became obsolete like
right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God for flat screens. We start the movie with some shitty Subarus with green lights underneath. Rolling up on an 18-wheeler to steal the I think it was DVD players. They're stealing DVD players and TVs.
Well, I have to correct you. They weren't Subarus. They're Honda Civics.
My bad. It's totally different. Absolute different cars for sure. The Honda Civic, which if I'm gonna do a crime, I would try to leave no signatures, no evidence. Because all the cops know about these crimes is that it was done by 3 Civics with green lights. So as soon as someone sees a Civic with a green light, it's going to be like, oh, we're going to arrest you.
But Honda Civics are very common cars. I mean, if you drive around just in general, you'll see hundreds of Honda Civics. Hell, I used to own a Honda Civic.
Was it black with a spoiler and didn't have green neon lights?
It was black. That was about it. No neon lights are too expensive.
Yeah, it seems like that serves no logistical purpose. That's just for swagging out.
Pretty much. And plus, I mean, this is an era where you just wanted to pimp out your car as much as you could to get all the fly ladies.
Well, yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Pimp My Ride. So this is all like the Venn diagram is a circle for this stuff.
Pretty much, and. It's just something you did back then, If you owned like a Honda Civic or a Toyota Supra, 99% of the time it would probably be modified.
Oh, for sure. Especially probably after the popularity of this movie, too. I'm sure that increased people's interest in street racing and modifying and things like that.
Definitely. I even remember when I was a kid, my sister used to live near a Burger King, and every Saturday there would be these guys. They would all park their cars. It would kind of look like the Fast and the Furious, but really shitty because it was in a Burger King parking lot, and also no hot chicks.
No hot chicks, just Burger King.
Just some dudes near Burger King hanging out with their really nice cars.
Nice. Did they race, or were they just looking at each other's cars, going like, "Oh, nice engine"?
I don't know. It kind of got boring after looking at them for like 5 minutes, and they weren't doing anything. Maybe they went to go race somewhere else. It's possible.
Maybe.
Maybe
I know
the
there's
Burger King was just a hotspot.
You could probably get away with driving in like a lot of like more, like, you know, there's cities with alleyways and unused highways, and you could probably get away with it.
Well, this was more of a in the city, so it'd be kind of hard for them to do that.
Got to go down to Fall River or something where there's just nobody.
Pretty much. This was in Boston, so a lot harder and way more cops in the area.
Yeah. And the roads are really skinny, so I cannot imagine trying to race really fast, especially if you were, like in this movie, doing it with like 3 gallons of NOS.
Although I will have to say this, next to that Burger King was a road that was straight for a couple of miles. So, I mean, if anything, it would be a perfect place to race because it had 3 lanes and it was just straight for a few miles.
Oh yeah, that's there's someone drag racing there right now probably.
I hope
Someone
so.
in their new 2021 2021 Subaru, or maybe a 2001 Subaru. I don't know.
Definitely a 2001 Subaru.
Maybe it's vintage.
I wouldn't risk my 2021 Subaru.
No, I mean, also I don't want to get, you know, I'm a cop, so you shouldn't do any crimes.
True.
I'll call the cops. You are a cop. It's a line from the end of the movie. We
I was
haven't
like,
even talked about. We've only talked about one bit of the movie so far.
Yeah, we should probably get back on track and start to talk about the actual movie itself.
Fast and the Furious. Or no, The Fast and the Furious. Different
There you
from
go.
Fast and Furious, and Too Fast, Too Furious, and Fast and Furious 19 million. So this is the introduction to the whole universe, introduction to all these characters, Dom, Letty, Paul Walker's character,
Brian O'Connor.
Brian O'Connor. There we go. I had that written down somewhere, but in my notes I just wrote Paul Walker. So Paul Walker, after this robbery, which is it's kind of like a James Bond movie where it starts with a huge action scene and then then the movie starts. So we have the opening action scene. We see Paul Walker practicing driving, and then Paul Walker is going to eat a sandwich in order to talk to this waitress lady. Then some douchebags come, or the crew and the douchebag comes. The douchebag sits next to Paul Walker. They start to fight, and as they're fighting, the waitress goes to get Vin Diesel, who is Dom Toretto. Is that the full name?
Dominic Toretto, yes. Don't forget the iconic line where Michelle Rodriguez steps out of the car and she's wearing a low-cut jeans with her thong overhead. I'm like, this is such a 2001 look.
Yeah,
many
that
ladies
and the
back then were wearing that.
sunglasses. You see those sunglasses on everybody?
Yep, sunglasses.
Like the sunglasses that are just like, yeah, we saw The Matrix.
How about the shirts with the little holes in them?
Oh man, yeah. There's the douchebag character. I think his name's Vince. Is wearing a tank top and a mesh tank top.
Yes, he is. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Why the mesh on top of the shirt? I don't get it. Is it? I guess it's just to look like it's just to try to look cool.
Well, of course, as soon as he sees Paul Walker's character, he immediately calls him a slur to establish that he's very confident about himself
Oh yeah.
to begin the fight.
Vince is a very secure individual. Definitely
Very
no
secure.
personal issues in his life.
He's definitely secure because there's a scene where he kisses Dom right in the back of the head. So I'm just saying, very secure man.
So yeah, they fight, and then that's when we get introduced to the Vin Diesel character. And he comes out, stops the fight, and tells Paul Walker to get lost, and that he's fired from his job, even though Vin Diesel is not his boss. Paul Walker goes back to his place of employment, which is an auto parts store. I forget what it was, like racing parts or something. Goes to an auto parts store. The boss lets him keep his job, and Paul Walker needs some NOS.
Well, Harry was also under investigation because of stolen parts. That's why he didn't get fired right away. And you forgot the most iconic line where after the fight where Dom says to Vince, "Get over there, you're embarrassing me."
Yeah, and he's like, "Go get lost." To Paul Walker. Paul Walker's like, "This is bullshit, man." He doesn't say "man" at the end of it, but Everything Paul Walker's character does is just, in my head, is just whiny as fuck.
Well, he is a bro, so he's like, bro, I didn't even mean to fight him. Like, what the fuck?
He's a dude, bro, and as we'll learn later, he's a dude. He's an even douchier dude, bro. But he redeems himself, but
And he's a cop, so that's the worst part.
yeah, he is a cop. I didn't know we wanted to talk about that yet, even though I made a joke about it earlier. Paul Walker's a cop. You see later in the film, he starts to be way too aggressive for being an undercover cop. He doesn't even at a certain point he just stops trying to not act like a cop, and he's just being like just totally blowing his cover.
Yeah, he's pretty much like, yeah, I'm a cop, and everything I'm doing is cop-like, so you should definitely not trust me, but keep doing it anyways.
Somewhere in the middle of the film, Paul Walker and Dominic are talking, and he's doing like the bad cop routine. So being like, I know you're not paying for all these cars by working at the garage. I want in on the action. It's like,
Yeah, that
Paul
right
Walker,
there
you're
would...
talking too much like a cop. Calm down.
Yeah, if anyone ever like approached me and started saying stuff like that about my businesses, I would definitely know he's a cop.
It's like, you a cop?
But I'm a lot smarter than Dom's character.
Yeah, Dom is just, it's the problem with Dom's character. He's loyal to a fault.
But we should go back to the movie.
Yes,
Around 12 minutes, we get to see Ja Rule as Edwin.
And this is when we're meeting up for the street race, right?
Yep. So everyone's at the street race. You see all the pretty ladies standing next to other people's cars. You see cars doing the hydraulic lifts left to right. Pretty much the greatest car meet in the world.
And we get to hear like 10 seconds of Limp Bizkit's Rollin'.
Oh, was that? I didn't even realize
Keep
that song was
rolling,
playing.
rolling. Yeah, it was only for a little bit, but I caught it. I see you, Fred Durst.
There he goes. And then, of course, Dom and his crew show up, and then they're like, all right, 2K race. Everybody jump in. Who wants to go in? And then Brian bets his $10,000 modded out car on a $6,000 race. You know who does that?
That just had a bunch of NOS installed, all sorts of improvements. But he doesn't have the money. He just has the car.
Exactly. And you know who would do something like that?
A cop.
A cop. That's such a cop move. Here, I'll bet you my car that nobody owns. Here you go.
I was about to say it's like something out of a movie, but this is literally a movie, so that line of logic just falls apart. But yeah, it just
True.
seems like just a little too idealistic. Like, I'm gonna bet on myself.
Oh, what about after when he's in the car readying for the race? He's like, visualize the win. Visualize the win.
I'm gonna win. I do just want, before we proceed, there was a great Letty line where Vin Diesel is talking to some hot chicks, and then Letty comes up. She's like, I smell skanks.
Whoa, you gotta say it right. It's I smell skanks.
Sorry, I forgot to sniff.
You gotta sniff it first. Gotta smell the skanks.
Skanks abound at the street race community, apparently.
I would never say those kind of things because that's not the kind of person I am. I hope Letty has grown from that.
Yeah, you know, this is just, you know, she's being protective of her man, right? She's trying to keep Dom in line. Keep him away from bad temptations.
I don't know why. They were just friends. He was just gonna show them his car.
Well, baby, you got what I need.
They say he's just a friend.
And you say she's just a friend. So they're getting ready for the race. Everyone there blocks off the road. They're listening to the police radio to try to find a good time to race. A Pizza Hut guy gets told to get lost, like with the Pizza Hut branding and everything. So I'm just curious, not to take another side turn in this conversation, but I wonder how much money Pizza Hut paid to the movie to have their name in the movie, and just to have one of their delivery drivers get told to get lost.
Get lost, pizza boy.
Because that's like even a small line like that still like brings in money to the budget as far as advertising and stuff.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that happens. I can not. I After watching the movie yesterday, I was like, you know, what would be great? Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Actually,
stuffed
never mind.
crust.
It's trash.
A pizzone. Oh, I'm about a pizzone, dude. But too bad
Pizza
it's
Hut is like college pizza. You know, you enjoy it in college, but as you mature, there's a lot better out there.
man. Now I legitimately want a pizzone. Damn it. So Pizza Hut guy told to get lost. Everyone gets ready to start the race. Ja Rule gets to grab a tit, and the lady's like, even if you lose, this is all yours. Ooh. So
if you
Ja Rule
win-
knows he's gonna get some at the end of this race.
But if he wins, he gets her too.
But I thought she said that even if he loses, he gets her.
Right. He said if he loses, he gets her, but if he wins, he gets her and her friend.
And the car. And Paul Walker's sick car.
Correct. So he pretty much comes out like a bandit in this, if he wins.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the Ja Rule lifestyle. So what next? Paul Walker turns on the NOS, opens a dashboard screen which had some nonsense graphic, and opens a laptop to turn on the NOS, which is some real early like everything about this movie just screams 2001, of course. But I just like the dashboard screen just reading out some random numbers and the laptop. Dom also turns on his NOS, but it's under a secret seat compartment. He's a little more analog, let's say. Like
That's
just
how you're
turning
supposed
the
to turn
switches.
on your NOS, you know?
Turn on the NOS. Have you ever
Like a
had the
little
energy
valve.
drink NOS?
I definitely have. Very disgusting.
That shit goes, man. That is maybe one of the more potent energy drinks out there. That stuff is that stuff is deadly.
I definitely was more of a Monster and Red Bull man.
Yeah, these days it's just Red Bull because I like the cans are smaller and it's like I don't want to drink that much more sugary stuff, so I like the
Not for
smaller
me.
Red Bull cans these days.
I don't even think I drink energy drinks anymore. The only thing I drink really is like coffee.
Yeah, coffee makes me shit right away. Not to get too personal, but it's bad news. So, all right, what was that detour number like 12 or something on this
13.
Fast and Furious cast? Okay, so this is our first appearance of Gran Turismo, the video game. I think it's Gran Turismo 1, maybe. I'm not too. I don't know too much of the differences between 1 or 2 or things like that.
No,
But there's
that
a
was
guy
1.
playing Gran Turismo, and the crew is listening, or the people running the race, listening to the police radio. They say it's a. What's the police code for murder?
187.
187. There's a 187, and so they can go race. Everyone turns on their exhaust, and just flames are shooting out, even though they're not moving. I'm assuming that's the NOS.
Has to be.
So
Otherwise,
they're just burning
they
NOS.
might want to get their
They
cars
just-
checked out.
They just have this shot of fire coming out. And then the race begins. Vroom. Everyone starts racing. Paul Walker is losing, but then guess what he does?
NOS.
Turns on the NOS, and then he catches up, and then he passes Ja Rule, and this is where he yells,
Menage a trois.
"Monica!"
Oh, is this Monica? I thought this was Menage a trois.
I don't know. Maybe it is, but I know at some point he yells Monica because I'm assuming that's the girl who he's trying to get with after the race. And if he loses,
correct.
he's like, "No, I don't want to come back a loser. No."
That is correct. It was Monica, the girl who said she could have him regardless.
Yeah. And then Paul Walker, his laptop's giving him a warning, and he tells his laptop to shut up before closing it.
That's what you're supposed to tell your laptop before you get a virus too. Shut up, laptop.
Shut up, laptop. I don't need to scan this computer. I know what I'm doing. So Paul Walker's car begins to fall apart. He passes Dom, but then Dom, he uses some extra NOS. Paul Walker spins out. His car is busted mostly. He loses. Dom wins. Dom gets the prize money and the slip. And Monica totally rejects Ja Rule.
He goes up to her. He's like, Monica. He's like, and she's like, I don't talk to no losers like you, young man.
And
I'm not
everyone
going to
goes,
say the other lines.
"Oh!"
And that's exactly how it happened.
And then Paul Walker eventually rolls in. The crew opens the hood, and Paul Walker claims he almost beat Dom. And then Dom absolutely roasts Paul Walker, talking about how he can't drive, how his car is totally messed up. He's going to have to spend all this money repairing the car. But then, what happens?
The cops come. Brian must have called them in. He was like, "Hey guys, I just lost. Can you guys come pick me up?"
I need a ride home. So cops are coming. Scram. Paul Walker is going to have to use his damaged car to get away. We focus on Dom now, who loses the cops, going into a parking garage, parks his car there, continues on foot. A cop passes him and turns around, possibly profiling him.
Can I just say that it's ridiculous how that cop knew it was him? Like, he spun around. He was, like, definitely at least a good 20, 30 yards away from him. And he was like, "Toretto, I know it's you. Stop right there." Like, how does he know it's him?
Maybe it's just a delay. Like, he saw the face and then was like, "Where do I recognize that from?"
I mean, he fits a very, like, generic profile.
Yeah,
built.
Bald dude with a brown jacket.
Yeah. Well, just a bald guy, 6 feet tall. It's pretty generic, you know. It could be like anybody.
Not exactly stand out, but apparently he's the only guy walking down the street, so why not run the guy down? Dom runs away, goes into an alley, gets cut off by Paul Walker, who says, "Get in!" Picks up Dom, and this is sort of Paul Walker's chance to prove himself to Dom. Paul Walker dodges the cops, does a sick jump, loses the cops. You know, how much of that was because he was a cop, I don't know.
Definitely 90%.
But this is basically Paul Walker's chance to show Dom that he's a real racer, he's legit, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I went to prison for 2 years, and then Vin Diesel's character finds out he was in prison for 2 years for Grand Theft Auto, which he didn't mention. So I'm just saying, that smells like a cop to me.
You know, Paul Walker's just trying to not give too much information, but Vin Diesel already did the background check and found out about some juvie charges. And Vin Diesel's character did 2 years in legitimate jail for beating a guy up, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
So, but then the car is now surrounded by bikes. And the guy pulls out a gun, and the bikes lead them to a parking lot. The note I have written, because I was writing these notes as I was watching the movie, I said, bikes lead car into parking lot. They talk and nothing is accomplished. Why is this scene even here?
Pretty much. I think they just wanted to show the snakeskin pants. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's got to be some like Matrix-inspired styling, right?
Well, I think they also had to figure out a reason to blow up the car to make Brian be part of the crew. You know, if you blow up the car, then Dom doesn't have his car right away, so Brian has to earn a new car for Dom.
True, and this sort of sets up the Asian gang as like the people who you think are supposed to be the antagonists because they're being very aggressive. They blow up the car, which they shoot it up. Or so the bikers leave, the two main bikers come back and shoot up the car, which then catches on fire and then blows up because of the NOS. And even Paul Walker character goes NOS, and then they jump to avoid the explosion.
And this would be the smallest explosion in the Fast and the Furious series.
They only get bigger from here.
Pretty much.
I am looking forward to seeing how much more ridiculous these films get, because this film's really like grounded. It's more grounded in reality in a lot of ways compared to what I've seen and heard of these newer films.
Definitely. I feel like after Fast and Furious, I think that's where they start getting a little wacky with it.
Wait, which one's Fast and Furious?
That's the third movie canon-wise, but fourth movie overall.
So different because we watched The Fast and The Furious, which is
Correct.
different from Fast and Furious.
Correct. Fast and Furious is the fourth movie where they reintroduce Dom, Letty, Mia, you know, after they've gone from...
Just put numbers at the end of them. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so...
How's a man supposed to keep up?
Well, you have to make sure you look at the Wikipedia and be
I
like,
gotta
all right,
do my
so which
research
one is this?
before I watch any of these damn movies. And then the Tokyo Drift's in there, and Hobbs and Shaw, and like, I don't know.
Tokyo Drift is technically the 6th movie canon-wise, I believe.
Yeah, I'll be interested because I'm committed to trying to watch these all eventually, but committed to trying to watch these all, and looking forward to see if how the stories intertwine, or see how they try to intertwine the stories.
I feel like Too Fast and Too Furious is just like so off the beat of the rest of the movie, but I guess characters eventually from that movie do at some point show up. Very small, except for a Ludacris character who becomes a major part of the movies.
Ludacris. This is pre him being in that Justin Bieber song. Baby, baby, baby. Oh!
I think Fast 5 had come out and he had been in the Justin Bieber song, so...
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, looking forward to seeing Ludacris's award-winning acting in a future Fast film.
Pretty much.
What else? Okay, so the car blows up and they have to walk home. They get a taxi back to Dom's house where there's a party, and Dom offers Paul Walker to come inside and get a beer because he really helped him out, and they're bonding. Dom comes inside, and everyone's partying. There's people making out. There's two girls making out. Very progressive.
Very progressive.
There's someone else is playing Gran Turismo. I think Letty's playing Gran Turismo this time.
Yeah, Letty is playing Gran Turismo.
And Dom is very upset because all these guys are partying and none of them tried to save him because he literally almost got arrested.
That's true. I mean, to have all your great friends at your house hanging out, partying while you were still on the streets, I mean, that's just disrespect right there to me.
Yeah, and there's a good couple lines here that I wrote down where because the Vince character sees Paul Walker, he's like, "Why is the Buster here?" And then Vin Diesel says, "The Buster kept me out of handcuffs."
I mean, the Buster did in fact keep him out of handcuffs, so I don't know why Vince is even talking.
Yeah, and this just adds to the douchebag versus Paul Walker tension that occurs throughout the movie.
Yeah, because he, in his heart, knows that Paul Walker's a cop.
Yeah, he's for all the. I think Vince is a garbage person, but he knows. At least he knows. He can sense that there's something up with this guy.
He just feels like a cop to me.
And Dom is just blind.
I mean, I would be too, though, if someone just saved my butt from being in jail.
True.
I'd be like, you know what, this guy is cool.
To risk yourself for someone else against the cops is a very big risk if you are not a cop.
Yeah. So I have to be careful with anyone who risks highly. They might be cops.
Yes.
Sounds legit.
I'm a cop. Tell me your crimes.
Me too. This one time at band camp.
You've never been to band camp.
How do you know that? I'm very good with the flute.
Did you play flute?
Yeah, I did.
Ah, legit.
I played flute, and I was also in the choir club for a period of time.
Nice.
Before I got my man voice.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Like that?
Pretty much.
You could have been featured on a Ludacris song. Or sorry, Ja Rule song.
I was honestly going to start singing a Ja Rule song, but I realized I don't know any.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. The only thing I know Ja Rule for is Fire Festival and that time Dave Chappelle made fun of him.
And his beef with 50 Cent. Don't forget that.
Oh, yeah. It's good old... Yeah, we got to catch up on the Ja Rule lore.
We have to dedicate an entire episode just to Ja Rule.
Yes, that will be coming up someday. The Ja Rule episode. So what else happens in this movie? So after this stare down and conversation with the douchebag, Paul Walker gets the beer, drinks the beer. Dom leaves to go fuck. Now Paul Walker is with the crew who don't really like him. They're about to fight. Paul Walker gets saved by the waitress girl, who is the brother of the Dom character. And
the brother? You mean the sister?
I'm sorry?
You mean the sister of the Dom character, not the brother?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said the brother. She's not John Cena.
Dun, 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 ba, 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 ba. So yeah, it's the sister character. And the next note I have just says, "No, Paul Walker, don't fuck your sister."
Yeah, don't do it.
Because
then
they got
you
some
get the hot tip.
on. They're flirting a little bit.
You should never be that close to your bud sisters, anyways. just a warning, to all.
Yeah, it's a little suspicious. It's a little. That's stepping over some boundaries.
Exactly.
But
when you're
Dom
buds,
later does give like a seal of approval, just saying like, "If you break your heart, I'll break your ankles."
Yeah, but that's after he's gotten approval. Right now, at this moment.
Yeah, this is just. But hey, how are you gonna get? I mean, you're not gonna ask for approval and then make moves. There has to be some chemistry first.
Listen, if I know this dude's been in jail, I'm definitely asking for approval. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's approval, or I'm gonna die.
And this guy's a cop too, so that's like even worse.
Exactly, because at the end it's just gonna break his little heart and her little heart.
So the next day, Paul Walker is driving, gets pulled over, cuffed, and arrested. And this is the reveal that Paul Walker is a cop. So he's going to this cop house. They're like renting a mansion or something. So they're trying to talk about the situation. They discuss the crime at the beginning of the movie, the police, the FBI, and Paul Walker. We have a great line by the FBI director where the Paul Walker says, "I need more time." And the FBI guy says, "If you want time, find a magazine." Which is,
man,
got a little bit of props.
That's a good reference.
And they talk about Toretto, how dangerous he is. And someone says nitrous oxide is in his blood, which just means he likes to go fast. That doesn't exactly mean he's dangerous.
Exactly. It just says, instead of him being at first base, he's at second base. He's just a fast moving kind of guy.
Yeah, he's looking to steal third and maybe home.
Always steal home.
Yeah, I mean that's how you score.
Exactly. And if the pitcher, not the pitcher, if the catcher has the ball, you rush at him and you knock that ball off his little hand.
You slap his ball out of his hand like Alex Rodriguez.
Yep. Slap it out and be like, "I'm doing my running motion here. What are you talking about? There was nothing wrong with it."
Bronson Arroyo just dropped the ball. Come on.
Bronson Arroyo is a clumsy little guy.
You're going to trust a guy named Bronson Arroyo and his stupid country album?
And his frosted tips. Don't forget about the frosted tips.
That's this is all tying into the early 2000s. Talking about Bronson Arroyo and the 2004 Red Sox.
The most phenomenal baseball team of all time.
Aside from that douchebag Kurt Schilling, but...
Yeah, he was a big part of it, but his character is very flawed.
Yeah, he's a crazy fucking asshole. Kind of like one of these, the character of Vince in this film, but not so much.
Yeah, so going back to it, and then at around 38 minutes, Brian's character brings Vin Diesel a car towed in, and they have a little great line where they say that you could tow this car to the finish line.
Is this Paul? I think this is Dom's red car from earlier, right?
No, this is a completely different car. It wasn't the same car because the engine was different. Because they were looking at the engine, they were like, "Why are you bringing me this piece of crap? What am I going to do with this?" And then he's like, "Go look at the engine, and it's a great engine." And
so they can repair the car and use the engine.
Correct.
And he wants Paul Walker to help him fix his car, saying, "Anytime you're not at the repair parts store, or sorry, not the repair parts. Anytime you're not at the auto parts store working, you're over here working on this car." And then some DMX plays, I think, while they're going to grab the parts.
Yeah, I think so. It was definitely DMX.
Nerd guy, who I think is named Jesse, goes over the car plans, laments that ADD hindered his ability to get into college.
But car engines just very much soothe him, which is
just makes sense.
Yeah, which makes sense, and it's a common thing with a lot of people. There's just some things that when you're doing it, it just gives you ease and alleviates your anxiety.
Yeah, and on top of the fact that schools are not always the best at diagnosing how a person can learn.
Especially back then.
Not learning the right way.
Like, if this was the 80s and 90s when he was probably going to school, they would have been like, "This kid's just a moron. He's clearly not paying attention. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just an idiot."
Yeah, even no matter how hard he would try, he just it's just sad. And not to go on yet another tangent about the state of public schooling, but yeah. So he's found, like a lot of these characters in this crew, they have found a home with the Vin Diesel team. It's like a group of misfits, classic movie characters, You got your group of misfits together. Like a Star Wars, like all these guys coming together for a common goal, to race fast
And also steal
and furious,
VCRs and TVs.
and steal VCRs and TVs. Though I don't. Are VCRs vintage at this point? Like, have they gone up in price? You think in 2021?
I don't think so. I don't recall it being anything that people were wanting. Like, why would you want a VCR of Scarface? That's 2 VHS tapes just to watch one movie. That's ridiculous.
True. I mean, I guess the only thing would be like, same reason you would get an old video game console is that there are games there that haven't been remastered or re-released on a newer platform. Although there's a video company called Vinegar Syndrome that does a lot of remastering of old movies, because like a film negative, like a 35 millimeter film negative, holds about like 6K worth of data. So as long as you have the film negatives, you can remaster a lot of these old films that can look pristine. That's why if you go back to these films from the 40s and 50s, they look really good because they've been able to go back to the original film negatives that have all this data in them. Or it would it's not exactly pixels, but if you were to compare it to the resolution of pixels, that's where it would compare to about. Little tiny film negative can get that much data in it.
I can't wait to watch Casablanca in 4K, babe.
There you go. Yeah, but Citizen Kane, 8K.
Imagine Citizen Kane in 8K.
Man, that's a good movie. Legitimately, we'll watch. I'll teach you about the classics, the film school classics.
I've seen Citizen Kane.
There you go. There you go. I can give you a degree right now, pretty much.
Thank you. I accept this degree. I paid $0 for it.
The People's Review University awards you with a official film expert license.
Am I gonna have to sue this university after I found out it's not legit?
No, I'm partnering with Ja Rule. It's very legit.
Okay, I trust him. He's a guy after Fire Festival, so I know it's legit.
Yeah. I'm the new Billy McFarland of shitty universities.
Nice. All right, so we should get back to the movie.
Yeah, we got a lot of movie left to cover.
At 41 minutes, Vince, I have a note here. Vince doesn't like that Dom is being best buds with Brian now. They're always hanging out, high-fiving, fixing cars together.
Jealousy.
I mean, I'd be jealous too, Paul Walker has way better
apparently
hair.
They've known each other since 3rd grade, so that's some deep ties.
Maybe Dom is just looking for something a little bit more exciting than Vince can provide him.
Yeah, he really likes the Paul Walker character, but eventually he joins the meal and sort of, this is where the Vince character feels like he belongs. So he comes back to the meal. There's another bit of sexual tension in the kitchen where the sister character, I don't know the name of the sister character.
It's
Mia. So Mia and Brian are in the kitchen. She agrees to go out, or Brian asks her out. And she says yes. And basically, I think she agrees in spite of the douchebag guy.
Actually,
right?
She says no first, and then when Vince comes in and starts making fun of him, she's like, "Hey, Vince, what's that place you were going to take me?" And then he says whatever restaurant name, and then she's like, "Okay, that's where you can take me, Brian. Thanks."
Yeah, that's such a power move. I'm so about it.
She's a baller.
It's so fucking cool. I love it. So yeah, they set up a date. And now we have Hector from earlier in the crew go to the auto parts store, talk to Brian, says he needs 3 of a bunch of parts for cars.
I need 3 of everything.
3 Civics. 3 of everything, holds a wad of cash, and this clues in Paul Walker to the fact that, 3 cars, 3 modified cars, this could be a clue to the crime from earlier.
So Paul Walker is not a terrible detective.
Yeah, he just gets evidence handed to him, which I guess might happen if you're an undercover cop. You're just sort of letting things come to you, not trying to be too suspicious.
That's how you should act,
Yeah, and then Hector and his crew are partying at a bar restaurant while Paul Walker sneaks into the warehouse to try to find some evidence. Sees the 3 cars from the robbery, sees the sets of parts. As he's leaving, he gets caught by Vince and Dom. And Vince is on this guy. He knows he's a cop, or doesn't know for sure, but very convinced that Paul Walker is a cop.
Well, he's sneaking around like a cop, so definitely very cop-ish. But then he starts coming up with his excuse like, "Oh, I'm going around to every garage, and what am I doing? I'm going to every garage, checking out all the talent. I have to pay you back that money, Dom."
Yeah, which Dom is skeptical of because, like you said, you're gonna break into every garage for every person that's gonna race.
Yeah, it's very suspicious. And then they head over to Johnny Tran, who is the Asian character in his crew's garage, and
Yeah, put your money where your mouth is, Paul Walker. We're breaking
pretty
in.
much. And then as they're looking through the cars, they notice the cars don't have any engines. And the whole time they're looking at the cars, guess where Paul Walker's character's looking?
He's looking for DVD players.
Exactly.
Panasonic.
And then Johnny Tran and his crew come in. Dom, Vince, and Brian hide away. And then Johnny Tran is threatening Ted, who must be his mechanic or his parts guy. And Ted clearly needs to get his shit together because why would he withhold engines from such dangerous people?
Yeah, seems like a bad idea, which leads him to getting drowned with oil.
Yeah, oil.
It seems unreasonably cruel.
Yeah, but Ted fucked up. He didn't didn't bring the
Ted, you
toy. He didn't
fucked
bring
it
the
up.
engines, so he fucked up, and he's getting in trouble for it.
And neither Dom, Vince, or Brian get caught. I think the scene turns to back to the cop talks. They're meeting with Paul Walker again, and this is when one of the cops claims that Paul Walker is being blinded by Mia, and then Paul Walker tries to fight him and just says that he needs a few more days before they move in on Toretto because he thinks that it's the Johnny Tran gang.
Right, and then they start setting up the raid to go after Johnny Tran's character. So prior to this, Brian sleeps with Mia, so he's got that out of the way. And then he's told, "Get ready, we're gonna move in on Johnny Tran." And as the cops are raiding Johnny Tran, side by side is Dom and Letty's very mild sex scene.
Yeah, which is it's pretty saucy.
Yeah, but it's just such a weird place to put it. It's like, why would you do it right as the raid's going on? Doesn't really make sense.
I think it's to try to compare and contrast, right? There's the two whole different worlds, especially because this is the first time you're really seeing the Brian character act like a cop because he gets in the suit or the body armor, the helmet, gets an AK, goes in. Before this, we have the scene where Paul Walker and Vince and Dom talk about Dom's history. Dom talks about his dad and sees the black Mustang. And you sort of see that Dom's a good guy because he beat up the guy who killed his dad pretty much.
Well, it wasn't the guy who killed his dad. It was more I thought it was just a guy who was at the racetrack and he was just talking shit. And Dom just kind of lost it.
Someone clipped into his car, which led to his dad getting killed in the race.
I don't recall if it was
And
the person.
He hit that guy with a wrench and then got banned from all official racing.
I mean,
Right?
good on him if that was the case, that he didn't kill the guy, because not everyone would escape with their lives like that.
Yeah, because I think they show the scars, and I think it's just severe beating.
Definitely a severe.
Because they show pictures of the scars. The cops show Paul Walker pictures of the beating, and the guy looks alive. He just looks severely beat up. So yeah, and then and we've also skipped the date, in which he gives the backstory of the team. Paul Walker's being smooth. Mia wants to go for a drive. She does a sick drift, showing that she can also drive. And then the Johnny Tran busted scene. Cops are gearing up. The Johnny Tran gets slapped by his dad as he's getting arrested.
That's definitely the best scene. He just walks up as his son's being arrested. He's like, "Hold on, officers," and then just bitch slaps him. Hilarious.
Just adding. I mean, that's the classic. I'm not Oh, I mean, sure he's mad, but nothing worse than disappointing your parents, right? That's just an extra level of humiliation.
Mommy, I swear. I could honestly relate to that as a person. When I was younger, my mom took me to a store, and then she had just bought me some toys, and then I went to a part of the store and I started sneaking in toys into my bag, and then someone caught me at the store.
Oh no.
Yep. So someone caught me at the store taking it, and he was like, "Where's your parents?" I was like, "I don't know where they are." I was like 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old at the time. They brought over a cop and everything, and then my mom came,
Oh jeez.
and I was just like, "Oh man."
They're trying to scare you straight.
Pretty much. And honestly, they did, because I never did anything like that ever again in my life. But it was just like the look on my mom's face was just like the most disappointing look. And that was like probably the worst part.
Yeah, because they're not gonna arrest a kid. You know, they just want to scare you straight. Like, you could be in prison, but we're gonna let you go as a kindness.
Pretty much.
The only stuff I really stole was I used to steal food from the middle school lunchroom. And I used to steal like cheeseburgers and chicken burgers and stuff. Because I used to wear really baggy sweatshirts. And I ended up getting involved in like a different like a bad crowd. And I was in the lunchroom, and then one of these kids just started putting the burgers in my sweatshirt. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Just chill." And then I, thought I was cool because I was stealing hamburgers. And then I tried it in high school, and no go.
No, they were really strict in high school. They had like a whole system. I think in my high school, a lot of the bakery food was like made by students, and then all the money would go to the bakery class and stuff like that. So they were very strict about making sure no one ever took anything.
Yeah, my high school cafeteria wasn't that fancy, but when I was trying to continue my middle school stealing streak, one of the lunch ladies saw me, and sort of like we had this chase through the crowded people, and I was like, oh shit, I don't want to get caught. And then I dumped everything, put it all back, and left. And never didn't get caught, but also never tried it again. And I made eye contact with a lunch lady, so she knew who I was. But I was on the straight and narrow at that point.
Exactly. I'll never steal these cheeseburgers ever again.
It's like worse than McDonald's, like sub McDonald's level food. So
I remember high school food.
In hindsight, like
I actually got like really sick one time from high school pizza, and
really?
I had like. It was definitely food poisoning because I didn't go to school for like a couple of days.
Damn, yeah, that shit's rough.
Yep. That's why I try to avoid school food after that.
Yeah. I think there was, by the time I was in senior year, I was only eating like a few, I would still get lunch money, but there was only a few lunches that I knew were like, I wanted to eat. And then otherwise I would just eat Pop-Tarts from the vending machine.
Yeah, like I would. If anything, I would just wait till 1:30 when we get out, and then just walk to the McDonald's right across the street and get a burger with my buddies.
Yeah, when the McDonald's is more nutritionally valuable than the school food.
I wouldn't say nutritionally
America,
valuable,
right?
but definitely a lot better tasting. At some point, it's all about the taste, right?
True, yeah. I mean, in high school, when you're not thinking about calories or anything, or
no, because you burn
like
you burn like 6,000 calories just by like walking around that huge school.
Yes, very, very true. Or in my school, they locked all the bathrooms, so there was only one bathroom open, so you literally had to go to every single bathroom to try to figure out which one was open, which would take like 10 minutes, and then you get yelled at for being late. And it's like, they locked all the damn bathrooms. Because people kept writing bomb threats and getting school canceled. It was a mess.
You'd think they would ever learn. But let's get back to the movie, because we're like 10 miles away from this movie now.
Back to the movie.
So then Dom and Brian's character take the car out. They meet a Ferrari, and then they race it. That Ferrari is clearly trash because it lost.
Ferrari fucking loses.
It lost so hard.
That guy sucked.
His girlfriend probably left him. I would.
I mean, that's like a younger mistress, right? Like, that guy was 60.
No, he was like 40.
That's his secretary.
Yeah, that's definitely a secretary. But to be embarrassed like that by I think that's a Toyota Supra. I'm not 100% sure.
By a cop, man. What
Pretty
a loser.
much that right there. And then after that, race war starts.
Oh yeah, this is where Paul Walker pressures Vin Diesel into sort of revealing the crime aspect, because Paul Walker claims he wants to get involved. You're not making all this money just by the garage. You're doing something else, and I want in. And so he gives him directions to the Race Wars track and wants to see how Paul Walker will do.
Then we could talk.
And then we basically cut right to there. So all the cars, it's basically like 2-on-2 drag racing. And Letty gets hit on by a guy with dreadlocks and races for cash. She wins. And there's a lot of early 2000s sunglasses here.
Well,
A lot of like, hey man, I liked Morpheus from The Matrix. Have you guys seen The Matrix? Look at these sunglasses.
that was a style back then. And then Jesse goes against Johnny Tran's character and spectacularly loses that race.
And Jesse also bets the car. He bets his car.
He bets his dad's car, not his car.
Oh yeah, his dad's car. He loses, and then Jesse runs away,
Like a bitch.
which sort of triggers everything that happens next.
Pretty much. After that, Johnny Tran goes up to Dom. They start scuffling. Dom beats the hell out of Johnny Tran. And then pretty much they're like, all right, we got to go pull a robbery to, I assume, to pay off for Jesse?
Yeah, or not to pay off for Jesse. I think they're just like one last robbery before we lay low and everything like that. But and then Asian guy also, or sorry, not Asian guy. Johnny Tran also accuses Dom of narking.
Yeah, and Dom's like, I never knocked on nobody. I never.
Yeah, and Brian is seeing all of this and seeing that like tensions are rising. There's a late night rave that begins. Paul Walker is looking for Mia, sees her arguing with Toretto, and this is where Paul Walker is putting the pieces together. And then Paul Walker is just being way too aggressive, and then just flat out admits to Mia that he's a cop.
I'm a cop.
Admits that he's a cop, and also admits his love, which is also like really manipulative. I gotta say, this is a really disgusting scene, in my opinion. He pressures Mia into helping Brian arrest Dom. So by guilting him with the love thing, which is not real. Like, come on, like get over it. You're a cop.
Yeah, but
Like this is this is an angle. This is you can't trust him.
well, there's two thoughts into that. It's possible for him to love her and also be a cop because just because he loves her, it doesn't mean that he doesn't care. Clearly, he cares and he likes Dom. Otherwise, he wouldn't be like, I'm trying to stop your brother from making a huge mistake.
Yes, and we see Paul Walker. He shows where he stands by the end of the movie for sure.
Exactly.
In a more positive way. So
Can I just say something about the heist? Why is it at the daytime if all the other heists were at night?
yeah, I also wrote that down. That when also Paul Walker he calls like the cop dispatcher to get a location on the phone on Dom's phone number. And it's nighttime when he's driving, and then we just cut to daytime, and they're just rolling up in the middle of nowhere road to rob this truck. And basically, this is the heist gone wrong.
Yeah. Can I also just say that between Dom and Mia and then the heist, there is no way there was like at least 8 hours between those.
Yeah, and also like 40 miles. Does it take 8 hours to drive 40 miles?
In Fast and the Furious land, yes. I just think they just decided to cheap out on a night heist because it would be way more complicated and probably cost.
Yeah, and you need to be able to. There's a lot of things you need to be able to see and stuff. And
yeah.
they're also not wearing any black. They're not wearing any masks or anything, as opposed to the beginning of the movie.
I know,
Like everything's sort of concealed.
Fuck it, we don't care anymore. You can see our faces now, truck drivers.
Yeah. So I'll go over what happens here. So. They try to surround the car again. The the Vince character is shooting out the glass to try to hook it, I can't even wire his way in. I don't even know how to describe it.
Well, I guess it would be the hook to rope himself in, because I guess.
Yeah, he's trying to commandeer the vehicle by shooting out the front windows, and then attaching like a hook to the seat, and then pulling himself onto the car. But this truck driver has a shotgun. Dom thinks it's the feds. The truck driver shoots the taillights off of Dom's car. Letty tries to come up to distract, gets shot at. The truck brakes, swings the douchebag to the side of the car. His arm gets caught up in the wire, and he's in severe pain. Dom's tire gets shot out. Letty tries to help but crashes and flips out on the side of the road. The other guy, who I don't know the name of, he goes back to get Letty to check up on
Leon.
her, while Dom continues to chase. Paul Walker is also caught up. He zooms past Letty and this other guy, sees the truck at Dom's car. Dom's car gets shot and slows down and breaks down. Paul Walker speeds by. Dom sees that he's passing by. Paul Walker punches the roof out of his car. I don't know how that worked.
That's how I normally do it.
Just brah, brah, brah. Has Mia take the wheel and tries to save the Vince character. Jumps to the truck, unhooks Vince while the truck driver is reloading. It shoots at Paul Walker while he jumps back to his car. The truck driver hits the car, and the car slides off the road. The truck driver is gone away. Everyone is basically safe. So everyone sort of converges on Vince, who is, according to Brian, he's about to die. And so he makes the call to the dispatcher to get a police helicopter, therefore revealing to Dom that he is a cop. And you can see Dom's kind of conflicted because, all right, he's saving one of my best friends, but this guy's also fucking lied to me.
It's a fucking knock.
Brian, narking out.
Yeah, and then he jumps back into the Honda Civic with Leon and Letty, and they, I assume, drive back home. But I guess Letty and
drive
Leon
back home to try to get away, I guess.
Yep. So and then Letty and Leon, I guess, go somewhere else.
Well, no, they're also at the house. Right?
No, they're not at the house.
Because Paul Walker drives to Dom's house. He's preparing to leave in the black Mustang.
Right, but Leon and Letty aren't there. I think they had already left beforehand. And then Jesse somehow knows that everyone's back at the house after just driving away. And then this.
Well, he has no idea about the robbery and the reveal of the cop.
Yeah, but if everyone he assumes would be still at Race Wars this time, right?
I guess maybe he's just been running straight, and maybe that was the end of the race. Because this is all. There's also been this is now the afternoon probably. Like at this point, Jesse's probably been on the run for fucking hours.
Yeah, but still to just randomly show back up, and then Johnny Tran also knows where Jesse is somehow magically, and then just
gets shot in a drive-by.
Gets shot in a drive-by, and then leads to Dom and Brian chasing the bikes. They chase him the whole way. Dom gets Johnny Tran's cousin, and it was a weird scene where after he saw him go down the cliff, he gets out of the car instead of actually chasing Johnny Tran himself. So I thought that was odd.
Well, then Paul Walker's in chase of Johnny Tran, shoots Johnny Tran, has him crash, goes to check on him, and then runs back to his car while yelling to everyone else, "Call 911!" Like, dude, you're a cop.
Yeah.
You call 911.
Yeah, but I'm not calling
asshole.
911. I ain't no narc.
Like, you shot the guy.
I ain't no narc.
All these people saw you shoot a guy, and then you're telling them to call 911.
Yeah, because I want them.
You have not pulled out a badge. You are not wearing a uniform. You just shot a guy.
Listen, it doesn't have to make sense. Just call 911.
Yeah, it's just Fast and Furious. You know, just go fast, and that's it.
Yep, and then
so this is coming up to the end of the movie. Dom and Brian pull up next to each other to do one last drag race. They race. Dom's car does a wheelie, because there's so much NOS.
pretty much.
They come up to a speeding car. It's very tense. The car is speeding. The train's speeding. They narrowly miss the car. Narrowly miss the train. Get past it. Dominic takes his eyes off the road. But then a truck pulls out, and then he hits the car and flips, ruining the car. And then what happens?
And then after that, Brian goes to check to make sure he's A-okay. And then afterwards, he's like, "Hey, bud, I owe you a 10-second car. Here you go. Run away. No, don't worry. I'm not a cop right now." Wink.
Yeah, so the cop lets his prime suspect get away, which, I guess it shows that Paul Walker's character cares about these guys more than just a cop chasing after a criminal. He's convinced that Dominic's actually a good guy, which, by all accounts, he's loyal. He's not a bad person by any stretch of the imagination.
No, definitely not as bad as like Johnny Tran. Johnny Tran's a scumbag. Dom is just
Johnny Tran
half
is
a scumbag.
Yeah, or Vince, or that douchebag Vince.
Vince.
And then Paul Walker walks away in slow motion, looks directly at the camera, and then credits roll.
Pretty much.
Which I mean, that's a real bad, like, at the end of the movie to just look directly into the camera lens and then credits. It's just like, did no one want a second take on this? Like,
Nope. We're good. We made a movie about cars going fast. We're pretty much good here.
yeah, we're done. Just like we're done talking about this movie.
Dylan, so, in your honest opinion, so IMDb has this movie rated as a 6.8 out of 10. What would you rate this movie?
Yeah, probably around there, I guess. I mean, it's definitely good. You know, it's not up there with like the best films I've seen. I like you know, it's shot really well. Story was, I could follow the story. Yeah, but it's kind of average, I guess. Probably 7. Like, if we're talking about like 10 is like the best movie, 9 is like really really good films, 8 is good films, and then these are like, we're starting to go from good to okay. Yeah, absolutely 7.
Yeah, but
Watchable.
yeah, it's definitely a 7. It's watchable, and I think it's rewatchable after, I would say, like a year or 2 or 3. Definitely
Totally
rewatchable.
fun, dumb film to watch with some buddies. Look at the early 2000s sunglasses. Look at Ja Rule.
Listen to some dope songs that you haven't heard in over 20 years.
Like Rollin' by Limp Bizkit.
Pretty much. And then,
Keep rolling, 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 rolling.
that's the Fast and the Furious, people, you know.
Move in, or move out.
A movie about a complicated family dynamic that Paul Walker
Yeah.
ruins by being a cop.
He just acts like a little too authoritative. He's just not like all the rest of the guys in the crew are pretty relaxed most part, or relatively relaxed.
Yeah, he's too high strung. He just has this very cop energy.
Yeah, could spot him from a mile away. But hey, he shows that he's a good guy at the end, and I would be looking forward to see how, if this character, not that I know which characters come back in the other movies, but if the Brian character comes back, I would be interested to see what happens next.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the show. You want to talk about anything you've done over the weekend, Dylan? Any games you might have played?
Man, what I do? I felt miserable and like sick this weekend.
Oh man,
I think these like allergies are getting to me.
it is May.
It is May. I don't even. Yeah, I slept a lot. I have a Mass Effect Legendary Collection downloaded,
Ooh.
so I hope to start that soon. Though I also still need to finish Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that one has like a time limit because my PS Plus is gonna run out soon, and I might renew for like a month to continue playing, but we'll see.
There you go. You know.
What about you? Where you start? How far you got to Mass Effect 2, right?
Yeah, so I beat Mass Effect in a day and a half. This was a very boring weekend since my partner was away, so I had pretty much the house to myself.
Nothing but Mass Effect. Me, the Normandy, Garrus.
Yep, me,
Rex.
Garrus, Rex, Liara. Just hanging out, saving the whole world. Not world, universe. Sorry, I had to correct myself.
Yeah, the universe or the galaxy at the very least.
And then right now I'm like halfway through Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 2 was my favorite of the 3.
Honestly, I had forgotten how good Mass Effect 2 was. Like,
It's really good.
it's so good. Like even like the scanner to get the resources thing, just really great system.
Yeah, it's like I like the well. There is some planet stuff. There is less of it than there was in Mass Effect 1, and I get that. But just everything else, all the characters, the combat gets really upgraded. So many more party members.
Yeah, the party members.
It's just a lot cooler.
yeah,
And also that's the game where they're like, we gotta sex this game up a bit.
pretty much. That's why they
We gotta
introduced
we gotta make
Miranda.
Mass Effect more sexy.
They introduced Miranda, Samara.
Yes.
They were definitely thinking about over-sexualizing the game, clearly.
Clearly, but hey, that's part of the charm, man.
True.
Yeah, that game's so good.
We'll have to eventually do a podcast dedicated strictly to just the characters and the trilogy.
We gotta rank all the characters, starting at the bottom with James.
Now we have to review them because there's some characters, Zaid, that are just trash.
You know, Zaid's funny though. Zaid's just like, I shot him in the goddamn head.
Zaid, Jacob.
Here's a helmet of a Krogan I killed and ate his eyeballs.
Jacob is super boring too. And the other guy from Mass Effect 3, I don't know his name, but he was like never in my party.
Jacob has such a good side quest though.
Oh yeah, his dad.
He has such a good story though.
Yeah, he does have he has a
man.
good story, but he's kind of like he's got too much of a stick in his butt.
I mean, he's a former Alliance guy. Of course, he's a little stuck.
I don't know. Shepard's an Alliance guy, and he's pretty cool. He's all like,
Shepard is maybe the most rigid person, especially male Shepard. I should go.
I should go now.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I'll leave you to it.
Hello, Liara.
Hello, Tali.
Joker. Rex. Oh, man. All right, so that's... we'll do a Mass Effect talk as soon as I've gotten to beating all these other Mass Effects, which probably going to happen soon.
Pretty much.
And that's about wraps it up. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We're posting these on Spotify. We got Spotify now. Posting these on YouTube, and we're working on Apple, getting these onto Apple Podcasts. So we will post those links when we have them available.
And next week,
And we're going to continue making these sick podcasts, if I may use the term for my own thing I'm creating. These things are sick as hell. They are fast and furious.
very Fast and Furious. And we're going to do a little change of pace next week. Instead of doing a movie, we will be doing a review of a couple of episodes of Cowboy Bebop. Is that correct?
Cowboy Bebop. Another thing that is also so good and takes place in space. We're gonna watch Cowboy Bebop, starting with episodes probably 1 through 3, and we're gonna watch this show.
And then we're going to let you know how good it is and why you aren't watching it.
Yeah, spoilers. It's really good. I mean, not to I don't like to overhype things. I get an excessive hype, because I feel like the excessive hype can sort of ruin it for newcomers. But it's really good.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those shows that holds up. Even now, I could go back to it and still, it's just as good as it was the first time I watched it. And it's very rare that stuff like that kind of happens.
It's interesting to see what stands the test of time versus things that age very poorly. Like the fashion in Fast and Furious. That's aged poorly, but I think the movie itself is still a good movie. So it's just interesting to see what does and does not age well.
Well, so
Like Joe Dirt, aged poorly.
very poorly.
That aged poorly. Cowboy Bebop, yeah, this is some good stuff.
And Cowboy Bebop is up there. I think it was made in '98. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely withholding the test of time. I'm sorry,
and we gotta
standing
watch
the test
movie,
of
too.
time. Wait, what was that?
We gotta watch the movie too.
Oh, definitely the movie. I can't wait to rewatch that. I haven't watched it in a long time, so it'll be nice to see it.
Me neither. I don't think I might not have. I've seen parts of it. I might not have watched it all, but we will. Coming up on a later episode. This has been the People's Review with me, Dylan, and you, Jose.
Yes, sir.
And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Thursday. Next Thursday.
See you later, guys.
See ya, Space Cowboy.